A lot has been happening with the Netflix Warner Brothers merger. So this is the Outlook timeline from the late briefing. All right, let's start. Topic: Warner Brothers Netflix almost happened, maybe still, and here we are. So I want to get into Paramount actually wanted to buy Warner Brothers. Let me read. This is from also it being blocked. This is from the Guardian headline. Larry Ellison gives personal guarantee for Paramount takeover of WDB. The tech billionaire Larry Ellison has agreed rather to provide a personal guarantee of more than 40 billion for Paramount Skydance's fight to gain control of Warner Brothers Discovery amid an extraordinary corporate battle over the entertainment giant. Done reading. Side note, that part was from the end of 2025. Now we're in just Q1 of 2026. But okay. And also, WDB blocked the bid, by the way, and more from that piece, by the way. Let me finish reading. Quote, WDB also accused Paramount of having consistently misled investors, claiming its offer had a full backstop, a safety net to ensure it has sufficient funds from the Ellisons. Unlike Netflix, which has agreed to buy only the movie deals, HBO and HBO Max from Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount has bid for the entire company. Done reading. Well, for now, until it's like, let's take that to, or the threat of, and now for the full picture. I said earlier, you do know that WDB blocked the bid. Again, right, this is from Reuters. Quote, Warner Brothers likely to reject Paramount's latest hostile bid. Source says the board is to make an official, a final decision, but it's expected, and it did. Done paraphrase, done reading. And the decision could keep Warner Brothers, hold on, wait, y'all. Let me read this. And the decision could keep Warner Brothers on track to pursue a rival cash and stock deal with Netflix, despite Paramount's attempt to sweeten this offer. Ellison, whose sons David is chairman and CEO of Peace Sky, Paramount, personally guaranteed the equity underpinning the bid, hoping to ease doubts that dogged under the proposal. Under the terms that the agreement, WDB would face 2.8 billion breakup fee if it walks away from the Netflix deal. Done reading. Damn. Well, that happened. I mean, were they forced? I mean, this happened similarly with X.com, where they were forced for this deal to happen. That deal, not this deal. This deal is a maybe. Again, Outlook timeline. So either way, Netflix will have to either own WDB Paramount, or Paramount has to buy WDB. What the hell? And one last key bit, then full thoughts. Quote, Paramount has argued that its offer is more than market proof than Netflix's $82 billion proposal, whose value has fluctuated with Netflix's share price. Lawmakers from both parties have raised concerns about further consolidation in the media industry. The president has said he would have plans to weigh in on the landmark acquisition. Still hasn't, by the way. Paraphrase all of that. Anyway, some of it. Done reading. Okay. Why is this important? I mean, I am talking to you from a group, synra, and if I got that call where you were trying to buy, not you the viewer, but just someone trying to buy out of plus, ownership is key. Like, you know, ownership is key when it comes to this in general anyways. But it should not be that easy to do this in the first place, right? Because a fully working government, fully working democracy, whatever you want to call it, or real capitalism, not late stage to let this happen. Like, we don't know, or just the wake up of it all when it comes to like, oh, this is happening. Like, you know, but again, like, if a merger outside of media that was blocked recently, the JetBlue and Kroger Albertsons merger, I can put that on the screen. This literally happened about, this happened like, oh no, this happened. The Albertsons would happen, I think, at the tail end of the 24 election. It was almost 2 years after this happened. But anyways, mind you, do not confuse this like Warner Brothers Netflix merger, the T-Mobile Sprint merger of our time. And also, I should probably note again, I'm a little off the rails when it comes to, I'm a little shaky right now, but let me just explain. Let me take you back in time. The first time in my early content days, and that merger was big. I remember I covered it in 2017 first time. Then back in 2020, quote, Sprint Corporation and T-Mobile U.S. merged in 2024, an all-shares deal for $26 billion. The deal was announced on April 29, 2018. Then, after a 2-year long approval process, the merger was closed on April 1st, 2020. With T-Mobile emerging as the surviving brand, the Sprint brand was discontinued by T-Mobile on August 2nd, 2020. On February 17, 2017, Reuters reported that SoftBank, interesting, was considering selling its majority stake in Sprint to Dutch Telecom, an effective reversal of the original deal, citing struggling growth in the U.S. market and a higher likelihood that the deal would be approved by the, at the time, Trump administration during his first term, by the way. Then, however, after months of speculation and rumors about a potential deal being reached, both T-Mobile and Sprint then announced on November 4, 2017, then that a while they have discussions about a possible merger, the two parties had decided to end merger talks due to not being able to agree on the terms of the deal. Due to SoftBank's board of directors, let's go again. I want to go back a little bit more in history so we can just understand this. Then we can understand modern day the WDB Paramount or WDB Netflix merger. But yeah, let's keep going. Sprint and T-Mobile once again resumed talks of a merger. Then in April 2018, and announced a merger agreement on April 29th. And on June 8, 2019, FCC Chairman then Ajit Pai voiced his support for the merger. He discussed 5G and how the FCC is working to accelerate its deployment in the U.S., one of the pillars of T-Mobile Sprint's merger, and how they plan to use their combined spectrum to deploy the nationwide 5G network. And he said during his remarks that one of the most critical steps, and that before you had Brendan, right? You had Ajit, mind you, the same person that also made net neutrality not a thing. Okay, back to this. Let's go back to the WDB merger talks a little bit. So, how power intersects and where did the checks and balances go out the window? And it's the unofficial, are we okay? No, wait, that's next. Are we okay? Are we fine? Because again, from earlier, quote, headline, Warner Brothers likely to reject latest hostile bid. Source says the board has yet to make a final decision, but is expected to meet then next week. And let me keep reading. Let me just I'm paraphrasing y'all. And they did reject it, by the way. Also, speaking about the board, this is from The Guardian. Now I'm quoting here. Headline, Paramount to nominate directors to WDB's board to vote against Netflix deal. Paramount Skydance plans to nominate directors to WDB's board to vote against the approval of its deal with Netflix. Filed a lawsuit seeking its disclosure of financial information. $82 billion. 82.7 to be exact. Agreement. Done reading. Wait, in reality, why can't both decline the deal? As in, why can't WDB or Netflix decline the deal? Let's keep going. Quote, in a letter sent to WDB investors on then Monday, Paramount said it would nominate directors for the election at the company's annual meeting, which is usually held in June, to try to derail the deal with Netflix, which was agreed to then in December 2025. Done reading. Oh, run that back, y'all. Paramount said it will nominate directors for the election at the company's annual meeting, which is usually held in June, try to derail with Netflix's deal, which was agreed to in December. Paraphrase a little bit. Don't read it. So we knew it was messy, but this messy is crazy, right? So Paramount desperately wants to pull what Elon did with X when it was called Twitter, not to mention again, now it's X.com, which again was the no, we can't buy it. Well, we have to because the government forced us to buy it, as in X, down on. But if it happened in 2026, it would have been a no, not really a maybe. And yeah. But let's keep going. Paramount also said then on Monday that it filed a lawsuit seeking disclosure basic information, including how WPD has valued the global network's operation, which includes CNN, Cartoon Network, and Discovery Channel, which Netflix is not buying, so that WDB shareholders can make an informed decision. Done reading. So is Paramount trying to buy all of WDB and what the old name in Warner Media was because of a disclosure of basic information? It's kind of like, okay, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, this was pretty obvious. If we think about it, is this ransom when it comes to the business world? Like, what play are you on really? Like, what play are you on really? Really? Like, okay, you got to do this deal whether you like it or not, y'all, whether you like it or not. Let's keep going. Quote, in the letter, Ellison, the chief executive of Paramount, said, "We are committed to seeing our tender offer through. We understand, however, that unless WDB board of directors decides to exercise its right to engage with us under the Netflix merger agreement, this will likely come down to your vote at a shareholder meeting. If WDB calls a special meeting ahead of its annual meeting to vote on the Netflix agreement, Paramount will solicit proxies against such approval." Ellison said, "These actions, coupled with our tender offer, ensure that you will get a final decision on which offer is best for you. The Netflix deal offers $2.35 a share in cash, as well as stock in the streaming company, equity in the global network spinoff that Paramount values at $0." Hold on, wait, done reading. But if you thought this was wild, quote, let me get y'all this again, if I didn't already. Quote, under the terms of its deal with Netflix, WDB would have to pay $2.8 billion breakup fee if you walk away from the agreement. Paramount Skydance revised offer also involved increasing its termination fee to $5.8 billion, matching Netflix at a $2.8 billion breakup fee if you walked away from the agreement. 2.8. And Peace got a $5 billion. Crazy. Band for band. Like, if you walk out, you gotta pay this big debt. No, like literally, this is the entertainment version of what happened to Twitter, now X.com, because Paramount is really going to, like, it might have to buy Netflix or WDB both, probably Netflix or WDB both, which would be crazy either way, which is insane to think about. It's like, wait, the same people that got TikTok, like imagine Oracle getting Netflix, WDB, not P Sky and WDB, but Oracle getting those two companies. It's complicated. And this is why we're covering it here on the Late Briefing SYN. Let's keep going though. Let me add some new stuff that was missed though. Oh, we talked about the forced buyout now. So again, there was a cash offer. From the Guardian cash offer headline, quote, Netflix is reportedly preparing to switch to an all cash offer to seal its takeover of the studios and the streaming business of WDB as it tries to speed up the deal's effect off a rival hostile bid from P Sky Paramount Skydance. The changes to Netflix's $83 billion offer, first reported by Bloomberg, are designed to accelerate the acquisition, which is expected to take months to conclude, making more palatable for WDB shareholders. The tie between Netflix and WDB is faced the backlash from U.S. politicians and figures in the entertainment industry, with some voicing concerns that there's a media giant will control almost half of the streaming market. Done reading. You don't think, chat? Of course, yeah, it will control half of it. Low-key, it's like, how did y'all let Kroger Albertsons not slide, but WDB Netflix or P Sky Netflix WDB not slide? Insane, but let's keep going. Under the Netflix deal, the streaming company's vast library will take control of WDB's prized assets. It comes to Paramount, controlled by the Ellison family, is attempting to secure its own $104 billion takeover of WDB. Its bid has been backstopped by a personal $40 billion guaranteed by Larry Ellison, a co-founder of Oracle. WDB has previously told its shareholders to reject the inadequate hostile bid takeover, argued its significant amount of debt financing. Done reading. See where that came from? Hostile bid. I think we covered just the hostile bid earlier in the show. Now, debt finance. Think of it like a credit card where you have to pay off that debt. So really, is Netflix or Warner Brothers Discovery, do they have to pay off more debt, or even really they have to go red? So like they bought it, they're forced to buy it, but they have to go in the red, or literally this debt is just like, okay, it's clean debt where it's like, okay, it's not really like debt that's gonna make them go like bankrupt or anything, but this is debt like that's like, okay, it's just debt. Like it's, you still don't want to have the debt, but it's like, okay, it's like, think of it like kind of like excess, where it's like excess debt, like it's weight, like it's excess debt. It's not the bad debt that's gonna ruin the company. But however, we don't know. But let's keep going with this part of the show in this segment, of course. Let's keep going. Quote, under the terms of Netflix original deal, WDB shareholders do 23.5 probably dollars, but a million or thousands, but I'm just say 23.5, just say thousand a share in cash, as well as the stock in the streaming company equity and WDB's global networks operation, which Netflix is not buying, by the way. Paraphrase this part, of course. That includes CNN and CN, Cartoon Network, and Discovery Channel. Warner Brothers formally put itself up for sale in October 2025 after receiving interest from several parties. It agreed to deal with Netflix in early December after rival takeover bids from Paramount and Comcast, NBCU, and which owns including Universal Studios and the U.S. News Network, NBC, and Sky. Done reading. Okay, now somehow NBCU wanted to bid. At this point, fuck a Birkin bag. Let me slide $18 billion for the WDB merger at this point, because y'all, it still begs the question, how monopolistic, right, is this though? However, also speaking of that, did you know that the president has bonds that he invested into the WDB merger, or tried to? Hey, look, let me give y'all the sauce. Yo, hold on. Let me give y'all the content. And also, now we're in the other part of the show in this segment, a kind of mini segment. Are we okay? What do you mean he bought the bonds though? Are we okay? So this is from the Hollywood Reporter, and that piece released January 16, 2026. Quote, headline, the president bought Netflix WDB Discovery bonds in days after the mega deal was announced. Done reading. Did paraphrase. Let's keep on for a second. A financial disclosure form released by the White House showed he acquired at least $500,000 in debt securities from one of each of the companies. Done reading. Again, now is it money, power, and politics? When he said control of the media, well, is this the correct way to do it? You're paying them off and forcing them to do this deal. Let's keep going. Hold on. According to a financial disclosure released by the White House, the president acquired corporate bonds issued by Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery valued as high as $1 million each. Oh, $1 million. Okay, y'all. The debt securities required in the days after Netflix announced its blockbuster $83 billion deal for Warner Brothers Discovery. Paraphrase that part. $83 billion. The White House released the disclosure for the president late Thursday, then listing dozens of transactions with a total value of $100 million. Okay, this is crazy money, y'all. Crazy money, including the acquired debt from the entertainment companies. The disclosure, which is dated January 14, 2026, does not list the precise value of each purchase, instead offering a range from the disclosure form. The president acquired two tranches of Netflix bonds, one purchased valued between $205,001 and $500K on December 12th, 2025. Then a second purchase between $205K, $250K, $500K made December 16th, and Netflix bonds set to mature in November 2029. Let me read that again. The Netflix bonds are set to mature in November 2029. So again, don't read. Yo, they aren't worth a lot, but if that deal goes through, he would have made a lot. Letting y'all know that, by the way. Again, shout out to that disclosure form, right? And also, this might be an extended timeline outlook. Are we okay? Like adding 3 segments, crazy. Since I want to get y'all up to speed still with the WDB merger in general. The president also acquired a similar number. Let me finish reading y'all quote. The president also acquired a similar number of corporate bonds issued by SiriusXM. The filing shows alongside dozens of other purchases. Yeah, but why would you also first buy some for your friends? Because Larry called hello, and like everybody getting fed except the American people. Flex up, diamonds. You're not next up. No more for you. And was like, okay, we might buy either Netflix WDB together or WDB thinking about doing that months ago. Because if you think about it, it was like, okay, we might buy either Netflix, WDB together or just WDB. And like we were thinking about doing months ago. Because if you think about it, yeah, in this democratic order system, kind of, right, a normal one, right, you would think, man, even all this is like, wait, could this be illegal? And also at the top, is it money, power, politics? That a president could actually wait, I forgot. When it comes to so-called capitalism, W supremacy and so on, it's like, not you, and yeah, I can get in the private club. Hello? Matter of fact, hold on, the private club at the White House. Wait, YT girls with BBLs. Wait, hold on, wait. Oh, it's wild. Even Kim K showed up. Yeah, that joke could have been much. I mean, but let's keep going. Quote, a White House official told the Hollywood Reporter that the president's investments are meant to replicate established indexes and that neither the president nor any member of his family has any ability to direct, influence, or provide input regarding how the portfolio is invested or when the investments are bought or sold. All investment decisions are entirely made by independent managers. Done reading. Well, independent managers that may or may not be loyal to the president or could have been appointed to the president, but he had to make the final decision either way, since it was his bond he spent with his money or even the rest of the family's money. Well, I mean, at least we hope not the government money, at least, because you can say that, but really, let's keep going. Most of the bonds he acquired in December were municipal bonds from states and cities across the country. But it also included many corporate bonds from major U.S. companies, including GM, General Motors, Boeing, Macy's, and Victoria's Secret. End quote. Yeah, now again, I kind of don't want to really make this to another mini How Did This Feel episode. Now, GM, because of, well, the auto industry now, Macy's and Victoria's Secret, it's like, you're blowing money, pause. Now, hopefully it's not government money or taxpayer money, and do we know that? Most likely still not. Let's keep going with this content. Quote, of course, any deal will need to be approved by U.S. regulators, and the president has said publicly that he expects to weigh in on it with his DOJ, expected to take the lead on challenging a merger. They're reading. Now, he did say at first, I'm kind of paraphrasing air quotes, but it could be a big problem. So that big problem on screen, if for the video people who's watching on YouTube, hey, how you doing? Fans like that. Let me jump reading. Let me read this part, y'all. The president met with Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos in the days leading up to the deal, and the two hit off with the president calling him a fantastic man. That being said, the president also posted an article that was highly critical of the Netflix WD deal trying to stop the Netflix cultural takeover. Stop the Netflix cultural takeover. Interesting. Said that many times on the show, so many times that you can make a clip about it. Done reading. Okay, now, so the cultural takeover, because the content Netflix produces right now, here in the Outlook timeline, slightly Are We Okay special segment, to get a better picture, and if you didn't then you know now, but so is this also about the president wanting to control the media, as in soft power, where it's not him, but it's about people that are loyal to him, as in how CBSN, which P. Scott also owns, which again, they're kind of like Fox News, but we're not conservative. We're kind of light conservative. Like, we're not really. We're gonna try to be like, we're not really like as everybody else. We're gonna a little bit between. But I had to see, like, okay, see how in this show, right? I had to give you full thoughts with this timeline outlook instead of drip feeding in like I did last week. So, anyways, kind of like let's not objectively have questions about the president factual or not. Hence, why that soft power was buying those stocks, and when Peace Sky became Peace Sky, Paramount Skydance, and now those unrelated stocks, GM, are more about bringing at least what he thinks back the American industry, but the American industry that was going in the 1950s and 60s. Of course, not making new industry. But back to this point to end it off about the merger, or even hell, him buying the stocks. Is it anti-democratic? Really? Or anti-monopolistic or capitalistic? Really? Maybe it is, possibly, because a normal democracy held, actually, again, I'm kind of skeptical here again. The last person who ran parts of the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, most notably Lena Khan, who is now a former commissioner of the FTC, and now they're Republican. Again, is that a bad thing? No, but we don't know if it's the checks and balances like it was in 2023. And the interesting thing is the new comms of the FTC. Some will be there until 2030. I don't really want to name them right now because I literally, like, I'm seeing notes here of it hitting like our past usual time almost. I don't know. But the interesting thing is, again, so that is almost 3 presidents. So if Vance became president in 2028, fully not, right? I don't know. But basically almost all of his term or second term. And to think to end, I'm still kind of optimistic. However, how is that easy that almost a stroke of a pen, that almost half of the media market is owned by smaller and smaller people get richer while we aren't really, though? By the way, y'all, sorry for stumbling some parts, but we got through it all. However, next topic. Oh,